What is up, Netrunners? Welcome back to another episode of PeachHack from North Georgia Netrunners. My name is Ben, and we are back at Raven's Nest Games in Marietta, Georgia on January 4th, 2015 for the store championships that happened there. We are in round 3. This is game 2 of round 3 between these two players. On the left, we have Cory, who is running as Whizzard, who gets 3 recurring credits every turn to trash cards. And he is running against John on the right, who's playing as haas-bioroid, engineering the future. John, of course, if you watched the previous game, you'll know that he is a bit of a new player, which is a lot of fun. We get to see some fun new stuff out of new players. I love watching some of the interesting things that can come out of these players. Some cards that you probably haven't seen played for a while. And if you're an experienced player running against it, it can be kind of crazy. You could be at a disadvantage because you have absolutely no idea what you'll be coming up against. And we certainly saw that happen in the previous game. I'm looking forward to seeing what John has cooked up for us this game. Should be fun. Looks like John has taken a mulligan there. I think Cory's pretty happy with his current hand. But here we go, going into the mandatory draw. And again, like I said in the previous video, it's always hard to know what kind of engineering the future you're facing when you just see that HB ID on the mat, because it could be all sorts of stuff. We've seen Fast Advance come out of HB, because of course they have they have Biotic Labor, not Astro. That would be terrible. That would be terrifying, at least. John ices up HQ. Of course, gets a credit for doing that. Covers up R&D as well. And looks like he's probably just going to, take a credit. Pretty standard turn for our engineering the fun friends. Cory opening up with a sure gamble. Getting some dollars. I'll be interested. Okay. Ooh, a spinal modem. Now that is a console you do not see very often. But it's pretty powerful. We got 2 recurring credits to use on icebreakers, with the downside of if you fail a trace, you take a brain damage during a run. And Cory, wow, turn 1 getting a lot of his rig set up already. He's got the console, he's got the not decoded, barrier breaker, and Cujo, the sentry breaker, arguably the least popular of the 3 dog cards. But still a good breaker. An interesting include. Uses no influence if you're an Anarch. And John decides to ice up HQ a little bit more. I wonder if he's maybe getting a little bit agenda flooded. I mean, it's hard to say with just a single action like that. But if you've got an ice and you have to choose where to protect it, and you put it over HQ instead of R&D, then you're probably a little bit more scared of people getting into R&D. Oh, interesting. He looks like he installs an upgrade onto R&D. Yes. He's just double checking. Yes, that is an upgrade that he's putting onto R&D. Now, if you're HB, when you think about upgrades, you're usually thinking Ash. But if you're thinking Ash, you're only going, you're going to put that in a remote server. I wonder if maybe this is a Caprice, maybe? Caprice seems pretty aggressive if he's worried about agendas being in there. I don't know. Maybe it could be something funky like Will-O-the-Wisp. That would be fun. Looks like Cory just draws some cards, takes some credits. Taking it slow. And John just taking some money as well. Not seeing the cards he needs yet. But Cory doesn't exactly have the economy quite yet to put a ton of pressure. He does have those 2 recurring credits. That can be deceptive. Dirty Laundry on Archives will bring him up to 5 credits. Plus those 2 recurring credits actually brings about 7 for a run if he wants to make a run here. He's just drawing back up. Just getting a little bit set up here. I'd be interested to see what strategy Cory might be going for in terms of his running. Whizzard, of course, extremely good at econ denial in the form of asset trashing. And HB, well known for their powerful asset economy with Adonis campaign and ETF campaign. So a lot of times HB players will try to tax the runner just by putting down asset econ and making them trash it. But with your Whizzard, that is no problem. You got those 3 recurring credits, and it makes a difference. John throwing down a Jackson Howard. Finally gets a chance to draw up some cards. Maybe get rid of some of the garbage in his hand. And that is certainly what he is doing. And with that, I hope we'll see what exactly the strategy is going to be out of John. Cory runs Jackson Howard, pops him, shuffles what is presumably an agenda or 2 or maybe even 3 back in the deck. Don't want to leave Jackson out there too long. Could be a powerful engine for getting the combo pieces you need if you are running some sort of combo deck of some sort. Or just, get the server set up the way you need it. Click 2 decides to take a stab at R&D. Looks like John is going to res this ice. And we got a Victor 1.0. That is a code gate, and Cory does not have a decoder. But he's got 2 clicks left. Sounds like he's going to click through the brain damage and just let the end the run bounce. And John is looking at this upgrade. Oh, man. A Tears hand from downtown. And he prevents the brain damage break. Now, Cory has another click. I don't know if he realizes this, but he can use that last click to re-break the brain damage. But instead, he's going to take it. Tears hand. What on earth? I don't think I've ever seen a game where Tears hand was played. This is a rare moment, ladies and gentlemen. This is why I like seeing these crazy decks. And Cory just draws for his last click. He's now at a hand size of 4. Probably not the position he was expecting to be in. Wow. So, I mean, that's kind of the reason people don't really play Tears hand is because you prevent them from breaking a subroutine, but then they can, if they have other means available, they can just re-break it. So, say they're spending money, say they have, I don't know, Gordian Blade out, and they spend $1 to break a subroutine. Then you're like, oh, but I got a Tears hand, and they block it. And then you just, okay, I spend another $1 to re-break that subroutine. But John pulled it off. He got the brain damage. So major, major props to him. I salute you. Looks like he played a hedge fund and is gaining some money to be able to break whatever, or res, excuse me, whatever those ice are. And in fact, Cory does take a stab at HQ. And what do we have here? Cory still has those 5 credits and the 2 recurring credits from the good old Spinal Modem. Oh, a Viper. It's another code gate, and this is actually really, really bad for Cory. John has had 11 credits, and Victor has 2 traces. So John can force Cory to lose both of these traces and then take 2 brain damage. This is based on money, because each of those are trace 3. So basically just boost each of them by 3, put them at trace 6. Those recurring credits have to be used on icebreakers. So he can basically spend 6 to give Cory 2 brain damage and make him lose a click. So he did not. So yeah, he failed the first trace, lost the click. And I think Cory forgot that losing traces gives him brain damage. John was very excited to point that out. No, you take a brain. And I think John only boosted that trace by 2, so Cory could have paid everything to break it. And I think he just forgot about the brain. I don't know if he would have. So he would have failed to end the run. He wouldn't have lost a click, though, but he'd be broke. And looks like John is paying this. I think. Wait, did he just pay 6 on that next subroutine? That might have been a mistake. Maybe he was thinking, make it trace 6, so I'll pay 6, but he only needed to pay 3 to make that impossible for him to break. Or maybe he thought the recurring credits from Spinal Modem counted as credit pool. I don't know. There may have been a misplay. But either way, Cory now has 3 brain damage, and we're like 10 minutes into the game. He has a max hand size of 2. Wow. Cory in dire straits, but he is not out. 3 brain damage does not mean that you're dead. Not at all. He is still in this. You just need the right cards at the right time. And HB is not Jinteki. That doesn't. I mean, you're not going to have all of the damaging tools that you normally would, or that you would if you were in Jinteki. John made a new server, took some credits, and Cory is drawing up with Inject. Trash is 1 program, so that Inject was a free 3 cards, with 1 going in the trash. Kind of like a Diesel, but not, I guess. It's one thing that Anarchs have been missing is that card draw. So Inject, certainly a boon for those Anarch decks. And, ooh, nice. Retrieval Run will get that Fem back that you just trashed for $3. That is a great deal. Now, what will he drop the Fem token on? Just thinking about it. My guess would be the Viper. Oh, he goes for the Victor. Okay, no, yeah, he does go for the Viper. Because he can click through the Victor, but he cannot click through a Viper. And he doesn't have his decoder out at all yet, so I think that's probably the right choice. And discarding a bunch of cards because he has a max hand size of 2. At least it's not a lonely one. So a Tier's Hand included in a deck, I think probably signals something about the deck. That it's probably some sort of brain damage type deck. I mean, I can't imagine what you would be doing with the Tier's Hand otherwise. Install Advance for John. So that's only behind 1 piece of ice. Okay, and Cory thinks this is a bluff. Throws 3 advancement counters on that saying, you don't scare me. Doesn't think that's an agenda. I mean, behind 1 single piece of ice, unless it's like an Enigma or a Quandary or something that John knows he can't get through now, then he's... I mean, it seems like a somewhat obvious bluff. I don't know. It's hard to know the intricacies and the subtleties of bluffing in this game. But install advance behind a single piece of ice feels like a bait to me, because Cory can break 2 out of 3 types of ice, and the odds of him having another code gate that's end the run, I feel like is pretty low. So my guess is, given the brain damage stuff we've seen before, my guess is that's a Cerebral Overrider, and I think Cory is playing that well, throwing the Queen's Gambit to get some money off of that. And the fact that John isn't scoring this out already excitedly means that, yeah, that is not an agenda. So I think Cory made the right call here. Bummer for John. I think he was excited about that. And, yeah, he is going to trash that asset. It was a good shot. It was a good try. Now, to trash that, he needs to install something in his place. What is he going to install? Cory happy about his successful gambit. Excellent guess. So what do we got going on to the server? John, not sure how he feels about putting something valuable in here. I mean, he's only at 5 credits. He probably doesn't want to have be like he doesn't want to res it and then not be able to do anything about what's in there, I guess. To res the ice. So installs, gains 2. Of course, installing, gaining you a credit, which is nice. And Cory did drop a medium last turn, so here we are, click 1, running R&D, clicking through the Victor, getting a single access this time. Ooh, and he gets a score. It is a Sentinel defense program, so yes, the brain damages are online. Well, not online, but John wants to kill Cory with brain damage, is the idea. Cory pretty happy that that wasn't scored earlier in the game, or else he'd be in trouble. Of course, Sentinel Defense Program triggers anytime the runner suffers brain damage, so it does not have to be the corp dealing it. So if that was scored toward the beginning of the game, Cory would have taken 3 extra damage, but he made it out. John resing an EtF campaign, which I think, well, okay, so he's icing it up some more. And as Whizzard, that's something you love to see because you could trash it for cheap. But making it not cheap to access means it'll probably stay up for a lot longer. Instead, he opts to pressure R&D some more. He can click through it, see 2 cards this time. One. Ooh, gets another one, another Sentinel Defense Program. And looks like he trashes, ooh, a Thomas Haas. Interesting. That is not a terribly common include you see. But if you're doing all these install advanced shenanigans, like imagine if the Thomas Haas was there in that server that was Queen's Gambited. That would have been awesome. Oh, yeah. Please. That would have been amazing. So we're up 4-0 now. And I think I heard the 15-minute call a little while ago. I think it could happen. Yeah, we're well within reasonable time frame, and John ices up R&D a bit more because R&D seems to be hemorrhaging agendas a little bit. What if he's having trouble pulling agendas himself? Now, the nice thing about something like EtF campaign and Adonis campaign is that you have time to build up a nice server with your asset economy, and then once it expires, then you have a server to start scoring stuff out of. Cory spending his turn drawing quite a bit. Probably had some garbage in his hand they just needed to get rid of. And he has to discard a bunch. Of course, max hand size of 2. That's a bummer. But he's not dead yet. In fact, he's up 4. So, are we going to see any action here coming out of John? So far, he's gained money from that EtF, and it's been slowly getting him money. A nice clickless 2 credits per turn. I think he's probably gained back what he put into it by now. R&D has definitely been the place to pressure for Cory. And yeah, there John goes. He's icing it up even more and gaining back those credits. So sitting at 14, and R&D is a lot more protected now. Back to Cory. Nice. Cory plays a power nap. That'll get him money for every double event in his heap. Looks like that'll gain him $6 because there's a bunch of saw Singularity and some Queen's Gambits in there. And there's the 5-minute warning coming out from the TO. This game is closer to ending than I thought. So now the pressure is on for John to start scoring up and catching up. Does he have agendas to score out yet? I mean, would you want to trash that EtF campaign to pull something out? To say, okay, I got to get an agenda, so I'll just take the money that I would have gotten from EVE campaign as a loss so that I can install something here. It always feels bad when you have to trash one of those recurring asset econ engines early. You kind of want to wait for it to expire so that you get everything out of it and then install something into it. Oh, we got a biotic labor and an accelerated beta test. He'll score that out. So there he is. He's on the board. 2 points. Sounds like he is not going to fire it. No Jackson on the table. That's a little scary, especially this late in the game. If you start just trashing agendas, Cory could win straight up. Game's not over yet, though. And Cory is going to run HQ. Would there be agendas in there? I feel like John has been having a hard time finding agendas. And I don't know. I kind of feel like there's nothing in there. We'll see. Pay 2 to bypass the Viper. No res on the other ice. Access 1 card. And trashing an Adonis campaign with Whizzard credits. Gonna check again. Maybe there's something lingering. And uh-oh. Neural EMP. Now there's a Genteki splash for you. And Cory's at a 2-card hand. So if this is a brain damage deck, I have to imagine that John is splashed 3 neural EMPs. So if he's got the credits for it and all 3 neurals in hand, then John basically just wins. So this game not only is on a literal clock, but also is on a figurative clock in terms of the time bomb until Cory or John draws all of his neural EMPs. Looks like that time is not now, or else I think he'd drop them. But Cory, I think, has just become a little bit more nervous about his prospects for the game. And John making a new server. Did he get a credit for that? He may have missed a credit for installing. Unless I missed something somewhere. So Jackson Howard looks like he's still going to be digging for something. Probably agendas, because that's what you got to score this late in the game. This close to the end. It is not unwinnable. He's only 2 points behind. If he gets a tie, then each one of them get 1 prestige. And back to Cory. Checking R&D again. I think that's probably not a bad move. You're getting a lot of multi-access. Now, I wonder if John kept any agendas in hand after all those digs. He might not have seen any. Who knows? No res on the first ice. Ooh, a Heimdall. 1.0 for the second. 1 minute call from the TO. 1 minute left in this game. So he's going to break with a bunch of money and 2 credits from Spinal Modem. Double click through the Victor. Access looks like 3 cards. 1. Leave it. He trashes, looks like another Adonis for free. Ooh, and he picks another accelerated beta test. He's at 6. The time is short. It is the corpse turn. And I think John's prospects for winning or tying may have just gone out the window. So at this point, his hope is to not lose outright and at least take a timed loss. Of course, a timed loss is no different than a regular loss. But for Cory, a timed win versus a regular win means a difference of 1 prestige point, which he definitely wants. It'll also keep his strength of schedule. Actually, his strength of schedule would be higher if Cory won. But there was the call for turn 0. It is the end of the game. John has to finish his turn, then it's Cory's turn, and then the game is over. And whoever has the most agenda points after that is the winner. And I think Cory is just explaining how turn 0 works there to John. And I suppose at this point, Okay, so he kills whatever ice that was. Puts something over it instead.
Correct, because you'll get the one back.
Gain some money. So, John has made his play to keep Cory out, to see if he can keep Cory from winning. Sounds like the game is in R&D. First 2 clicks, Cory does another power nap, going to get some more money. $9. 9 credits. Brings him up to 13. Now, what is that last ice? That's going to make all the difference. He makes the run on click 3. Pays 3 and rests another Viper. And I think Cory saw this coming because of the digs on R&D he did before. But now he has money. He could beat these traces. John only has $2. First trace stays at 3. Pays 3 to get past it. Boost the second trace up to 5, and Cory pays 5 to get through that. On the Heimdall, he will... Oh, it looks like he's able to make it through with 7. Clicks end the run and takes a brain damage from Victor, and he's going to see 4 cards. This is it. Oh, there it is. Prior to requisition, Cory pulls out a win out of R&D. Wow. He had exactly the right amount of money and clicks to get through that. That was... So he must have mathed... Wow. I mean, if somehow John had one more credit from somewhere, or if he was missing one double inside of his heap, then he wouldn't have been able to pull it off. But wow, right down to the wire, Cory pulls out the win out of R&D. Well, great series of games here out of Cory and John. I love seeing some crazy decks with cards you don't see a lot. And that, I mean, that's nothing against John. I think it's a lot of fun to see those. So I'm looking forward to seeing more of John in the future, including how he improves. He seems to be enjoying the game, so that's cool. Cory, well played. Very interesting decks coming out of him. And thanks, everyone, for watching. We're going to be bringing up round 4 pretty soon. And I will see you guys next time.